welcome to a financial modeling briefing. Today we are going to cover sensitivity analysis. I'm your host, Nicholas Logie, and this is an APU presentation. The objectives for today are as follows. We will give a brief introduction and overview. Next, we will cover the basics of sensitivity analysis and why it exists in capital budgeting. Then we will talk about the use of Microsoft Excel and its use of qualitative and quantitative steps. Finally, we will continue to brief how a new project's risk is incorporated into the capital budgeting and how sensitivity analysis can aid in the selection process for multiple projects. The world of finance is always fluctuating, and one change in a variable that is related to the capital budget can have devastating effects on the entire income statement. The capital structure of this company relies on the ability of the finance and accounting departments to conduct proper sensitivity analysis and scenarios to provide feedback on strategic financial moves within the organization. The primary goals for today are to define sensitivity analysis, identify the qualitative and quantitative steps involved, then identify how project risk can be incorporated into the capital budgeting. Sensitivity analysis is the process of estimating how target variables can change in relation to changes from a specific set of input variables. We are asking ourselves, what if? We will take the base case of our situation, whether that be the current financial statements or real-world events, and analyzing their changes based on different potential inputs. These analyses are taken and input into a model that we can utilize to determine which one has the strongest impact on our desired output. When utilizing Microsoft Excel, we can take the control variables from our financial statements and begin affecting change through built-in formulas and different inputs. The outcomes from our inputs will allow us to determine the best course of action when it comes to evaluating the capital structure and budget. We utilize Excel to model changes in interest rates, selling equity, and taking out new loans. Modeling these variables can help our executives determine when to adjust the capital structure or leverage what capital we have to keep our shareholders and owners happy. In the following slides, we will identify the best benefits of utilizing sensitivity analysis. Excel is a great tool that can aid us in the search for risk management course of actions that can update the capital budget planning. Excel offers different forecast options and solver options that can take the assumptions we input to be able to forecast the different actions we can take as a business to meet our capital budgeting needs. With the vast amount of forecasting formulas that exist in the world of finance, we can easily input these into Excel to determine the best route. Excel takes the qualitative and quantitative data the company has built up throughout the years and allows us to forecast for certain desired criteria. Within Excel, GoalSeek and Solver offer us the ability to test one or more variables to create forecasting data tables, allowing us to easily sort the best information and present it in a way that is understandable. During the current fiscal year, firms will continually make decisions for the following fiscal year budgets. Questions that get raised during these meetings are normally for expansion and growth. Discussions on new products or services, production methods, or distribution logistics can become the qualitative pieces of data that help forecasting and sensitivity analysis. Overall, the qualitative steps necessary for conducting a sensitivity analysis include the identification of a problem and how the company can get to the solution in the most efficient manner. Building specific scenarios based on the surrounding environment, such as the economy or local populace, can add complexity and aid in the financial decision process. As a business, we want to know how sensitive our capital budget is based on key inputs. Simply, how much change would we see in a 10% variation of a specific factor? Uncertainty in business can cause catastrophic failure if left unchecked. We are conducting these analyses to focus on the areas with the least amount of certainty to reduce the risk around that subject. These are the qualitative questions we are asking ourselves while we create the financial models and conduct sensitivity analysis. The quantitative process includes everything that we can measure by quantity. The focus in this section of the process is our ability to identify and implement the next fiscal year budget. What are we expecting as far as variation? Will there be the change in quantity for production, or do we expect to see an uptick in orders or clients? These questions relate to the measurable changes as compared to the previous years when completing a financial model and sensitivity or scenario analysis. Something that can be changed based on the surrounding economy and inflation are the current interest rates available for us when making the decision to take out new loans for projects. When creating sensitivity analysis for the interest rate changes, we are seeing how the increase or decrease will affect the income and cash flow statements. In terms of capital budget, this becomes a major factor for us when determining if taking out a new loan for a project will hurt the project's overall cash flow and increase the risk. Excel offers the ability to create gravity sort tables that can aid the finance department in weighing the different sensitivities that we produce to inform us on their quantitative effects on the capital budget. Integrating these charts requires the values that are being subject to the analysis to exist within the same sheet as the desired charts. This requires quantitative analysis to sort the inputs in a way that Excel can logically evaluate the assumptions. Linking data in Excel requires the inputs to be in like rows or columns, depending on the situation. Gravity sort tables are a strong identifier for quantitative valuations in financial modeling, and the information provided will help us identify which scenario and sensitivity will be our best and worst case situations. Sensitivity analysis and project management can coexist in a term known as project sensitivity. This is an evaluation of likeliness of success in a predetermined project or set of projects through the data forecasting that we discussed throughout this presentation. The way we lay out the project's sensitivity will aid in the decision-making process of the projects when determining its risk through the quantification of its impact. The discussion of how Excel allows us to create gravity sort models can also work for multiple projects, sorting them from highest to lowest risk based on the predetermined variables we utilized. In summary, sensitivity analysis is a strong tool that helps executives and accounting professionals identify the best and worst case situations. Understanding the workings of Microsoft Excel is paramount to the modeling processes for both qualitative and quantitative sets of information. This is a very easy way to identify the best practices and projects to initiate within the organization based on their sensitivities and how they affect the cash return of the desired project. Again, I'd like to thank you for viewing this presentation. I'm Nicholas Logie, and this was an APU presentation.